Hello everyone, welcome to Nancy Folktale Stories, where stories come to life. This is the story of Alice, a wealthy and influential young woman who struck fortune at an early age. But betrayal changed her life forever. Alice, a beautiful woman from Ake community, rose to stardom at an early age. She owned multinational businesses, estates, and fleets of cars. She had everything she ever wanted. But one thing was missing: a husband. The people of Eke thought that something was wrong with her. Others rumored that she sacrificed her ability to get married for riches and fame. Alice was always sad whenever she was reminded that she was a lonely spinster. One day during one of Alice's business meetings, she met Kingsley, an acclaimed wealth man. He claimed to own multiple business home and abroad and was looking for business partners for expansion. At first sight, Alice felt her heart skip as she met Kingsley, a young, charming and handsome gentleman. During their conversation, Alice couldn't help but stare at Kingsley as she was attracted to him. After their meeting, Kingsley asked her out for dinner, but she couldn't resist the temptation of saying yes. This was her first time of going out on a date with a client. With a smile that captivated her heart, Kingsley beamed, "Will 7 p.m. be okay?" Alice immediately replied, "Yes, Kingsley." From that day onwards, their love for each other grew stronger. Alice couldn't go an hour without hearing from Kingsley. It was as if her life revolved round Kingsley. Few months later, Kingsley proposed to her and they both got married. During the first 3 months of marriage, she noticed that Kingsley was not going to work. When she asked him, he claimed his business was undergoing some financial challenges, which she demanded a huge sum from Alice. Alice didn't hesitate as she gave him billions of naira. The next day, Kingsley went out claiming he was going for a business meeting. Whenever Alice asked him to take her to his business place, he usually came up with an excuse. He kept milking Alice of her money, and soon she started selling her properties to keep her business going. One faithful day, Kingsley had told Alice that he was going to work as usual. Later that afternoon, Alice received a call from one of her clients to meet up with her at the office. On her way, she saw Kingsley shamelessly embracing and caressing a young pregnant lady by the roadside. For a moment, her heart skipped and her breath seized. But she mustered up courage to step out of her car and approach them. When Kingsley saw her, he was shocked and tried to deny. Alice couldn't hold herself. She rushed home in tears. Later that evening, Kingsley came home and pretended as if nothing had happened. He even demanded for a divorce, telling her that the woman she saw was his wife, and she had 3 kids for him. Alice couldn't comprehend what was happening. Her world crumbled. She lost all her properties and businesses to a scammer. This changed her life forever, she swore, to meant all the punishment on any married man that came her way. The following day, Kingsley brought in his wife and kids, and Alice was kicked out. Alice became homeless. As she roamed the street, she met Rose. Rose was her longtime friend. She narrated her ordeal to her. Rose asked Alice to move in with her. Few months later, Alice met Mr. Ken, a very wealthy married man. Alice charmed and manipulated Mr. Ken to marry her. Few months into the marriage, he willed all his belongings to her. Few months after she killed him in his sleep, she made everyone believe that Mr. Ken died while sleeping. She got married to 10 other men, and each of them either died by a planned accident, robber, or by poisoning. She made sure that none of this was traced back to her. She had a list of all the men she killed, the children she rendered fatherless, and the women she turned into widows. Although Alice amassed a lot of wealth, she didn't still find satisfaction. Rather, she became very evil. These continued for years until she met Donald, a prominent business tycoon. She also got married to him. Unknown to her that Donald belonged to a secret cult group, he came on a mission to revenge the death of his brother, one of Alice's ex-husbands. Alice tried different means to kill Donald, just like she did to the other men, but she couldn't succeed. One fateful evening, as Alice was moving round the house, she noticed a small room hidden at the basement of the house. She quietly opened the door. What she saw shocked her. It was a room with a lot of diabolical items, and she also saw a girl vomiting money into a pot. Alice was shocked. She quickly ran away. She knew she has ended up with the wrong man. No wonder I can't kill him, she thought to herself. That evening, when Donald returned from work, Alice tried to compose herself and pretended like she knew nothing while thinking of her next move. But Donald knew what had happened. That evening, Alice poisoned Donald's drink, but Donald managed to exchange her drink. She drank from the poisoned cup and exclaimed, "My evil has finally caught up with me." Immediately, she dropped dead. Donald took her body for rituals as he was heading towards their ritual house. He was arrested by some forcemen. His house was searched, and he was sentenced to death by hanging. Morale: revenge doesn't always bring satisfaction, but rather it breeds more evil. But forgiveness is the surest way to freedom. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to keep the magic of storytelling alive. See you next time. Goodbye.